All right. Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Smudcast number 432. Let's talk about that Berserk video. In case you don't know what we're talking about, this is the video that I think we covered last time when we covered this YouTuber. And
it's the follow-up.
Yeah, this is the one that they want. Everyone's like, "Oh, you got to do the follow-up." Like, I don't want to do it. We got to do it.
Yeah, this is the embarrassing apology video that turned into well, we're about to see.
Yeah, so this is Uniquenameosaurus. He made this video 3 years ago. If you go to his About page, I've never seen this before. It says, everything I own, the copyright to on this channel is released to the public domain with CC0 1.0. Then he has a creativecommons.org license, which means that anyone can use his content. He doesn't care.
Who still uses CC1?
I don't... Why would you even bother proclaiming it? I don't know, but...
Creative Commons is an alternative to the classic copyright because it is less convoluted with the corporate Disney bullshit, and
but
also allows more versatility in how you want to license things.
Yeah,
he still sounds very young, so he's experimenting around with things. It's perfectly fine.
It's not a big deal to say this is for freedom, but at the same point, it's like, if you want people to use your stuff, just say, use my stuff. I won't charge you. I don't care. It's
that is with a Creative Commons license. It is more legally clear and obvious.
Sure, but who's going to sue someone when all you want to say is just use my video?
The other thing is that any video can be reused by anyone pretty much, because once it's uploaded to YouTube and you just make a response to it, that's already inside the fair use.
Well, back in the day, YouTube had video responses, so it was...
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Better times.
That was fun.
That was very fun.
However, star rating?
I think it sends a clearer message.
Yes, I agree. But
because for example, the fair use stuff, someone could throw that out the window.
I get it.
People make fuss over it. So I would personally think it good culture to put Creative Commons licenses out.
But at the same token, if you don't care about someone using your videos and someone used your video without permission, you'd be like, yeah, that's fine. I'm not going to sue you. But I never was in the first place, so it's not an issue.
Did he actively say that, or did he just write that somewhere?
Well, no, he just wrote, this is Creative Commons 1.0, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's fine. So
no, there's nothing wrong with it, but it implies that I'm not going to sue you. It's like, well, then why would you... Like you don't need to say something I'm not going to... Hey, you know what? I'm not going to come over and shoot you in the head. Okay, thanks. I didn't need to know that, but I assume that as well. Like, it's just
I think you're taking this too negatively.
Yeah. I do, because I don't like when people...
This is basically him taking away the work from you to declare whatever you do as fair use.
I know, but even then, you would still, in an act of formality, would say, "Hey, I'm going to use your video. Thanks. Is that okay?" Like, you would do that anyway if you're, a proper YouTuber. So it's really just a weird thing, and unless he's super sensitive to copyright, I don't know.
But the mistake is to assume that people are good YouTubers. There are a lot of assholes.
Yeah,
and
who cares?
That is the problem.
Don't worry about it. Anyway,
I think it's fine.
This is his response to the video we covered before, as we said. We're going to find out what he has to say, because that was not a very popular video for good reason. And not to say the Berserk series on anime has been perfect, but his idea of why it was bad or what have you was not the best. So let's check it out. Everyone's on the watch together, I hope?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Here we go.
I recently found the full
how's
screen
it going,
mode.
guys? You like that Berserk video? Oh shit, man. Okay, so if you're not familiar with how I do things on this channel, whenever I get high dislikes, I tend to lean on a fuck up on my part, because audiences tend to react the same way in my experience, and whenever I see content creators get defensive over backlashes, 99% of the time, I see something that fucked up. And especially with video essays, there's only really two ways of looking at it. Either you were wrong, or you didn't argue well enough. Either way, you can do better. So, I had a look. There's a variety of comments. Among them, the most main prominent ones seem to be under two groups. Those are trying to justify why Guts / the story is the way it is. Sometimes they seem to be talking directly about the show, and other times they seem to be talking about the manga. It's kind of unclear. And the other prominent section is pretty much people saying, I can't criticize anything until I've read the manga. Sometimes these two bleed into each other, but I'm going to ascertain from both these prominent comments that there were two fuck-ups in this video. One was a miscommunication about my feelings of the manga, and where my criticism was aimed. And the other was me failing to realize a good chunk of people actually liked episode 1, and that there was an engagement that I had never noticed. Alright, miscommunication first. Originally, these manga comments confused the crap out of me. I totally disagreed with them because the point of my video was skip episode 1 because it's a terrible hook. When you're trying to get someone into a show, it doesn't matter what happens in the manga 30 chapters down the line. A new viewer knows jack shit and they're going to make a judgment based on what they're given. It doesn't matter if there's some extra clarity or engagement down the line if they just drop the show at episode 1, you know?
He's using his cat.
That's why I feel like I can talk about it without knowing the manga.
Yeah, what is up with staring at his cat so close? Like,
It's just because people like cats, and the thing is, if you get people to look at the cats, they'll be not as harsh.
The other thing is that the cat seemed to have had an operation because the right leg is shaved. Yeah.
Yes.
Looks unsettling.
Wondering why he was zooming in on his
Maybe
butt.
he just didn't want to bother with editing stuff together for this.
Is this like a flip screen? Because it looks like it's the same, or rather, it's the same position of the cat. Only the leg is the same, and he reversed.
No,
the
I think
image.
he just came from behind over the couch.
No, the cat was lying down in the opposite angle. That's why I thought this was a flip screen. Anyway.
I agree with him just for one point. Yes, you don't need to read all of Berserk to make an opinion on the first episode. And like up to that point. But on the other hand, what I do not agree with at all is that like he disregards most of the negative comments towards the video, even though like they are like clearly like telling him that like it wasn't just like that they liked the episode 1 as an introduction, but it's also because like it introduced the very same method of like telling some events that are about to like foreshadowed in the following episodes. And like it's the same like storytelling tool that the manga was using. So like same point that he was like going on like last episode is that you should just only introduce Guts from episode 2 as like a young man who's about to like meet Griffith is still stupid in my opinion.
It's a strange way to take introductions, saying it's not what I was expecting or what I wanted.
Yeah, because like you don't have a hook if you just like put him in like the chronological order or whatever order you want.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with, and he even mentioned in media res that you go straight to the action and then you do a flashback, episode 2 or whatever. That's pretty common, even in books. So this is fine. The technique is fine. Maybe it just wasn't to his liking. He didn't like the weird violence of generic thugs in a bar getting beaten up, and then it's like, okay, why did that happen? To give the character some focus and some show off his skills, and it's like, yeah, it's fine. I don't need to like imagine the first episode of Cowboy Bebop. Spike didn't do any kung fu at all. You'd be like, oh, is he good with a gun at least? Like, they have to give him something that he's good at to show off that Spike is a capable...
Is that the one with Asimov and, like, those drugs?
Yeah.
Like the red eye?
Red eye.
Yeah, that's the one. Okay.
Episode 1, yeah. Just enough. Oh, he's a cowboy. He knows kung fu. He's good with a gun. He flies a ship. And he's a cool guy. Like, it's like, oh, we got it. All right. Good stuff. One episode, drama, suspense, action, fun.
Yeah, we exactly like know what kind of character he is. Yeah. Like we can like follow on him.
And what kind of show?
Same thing. Like with the Guts. Like I think he kept calling him stoic, which just doesn't make any sense because he keeps screaming at the ghosts, and he takes a lot of pleasure in torturing the snake baron. So that is not stoic.
Yeah, and you see that in his flashback when he's a kid or younger, and he's getting really angry and emotional fighting. So
yeah,
we learn about that. This is normal stuff. We do this all the time in storytelling. It's I don't know why he didn't like it. It's just a strange take, but that's fine. It's his opinion. That's all it is.
Because the crux of my argument wasn't about why Guts is like the way he is or anything like that. My argument is episode 2 works way better as getting people into a series than episode 1, which can turn people away. But I think I miscommunicated at some point and made people think I was talking about manga Guts and that him in his first arc was shitty. So let me just make that clear first. I have zero problems with Guts in the manga. I like Guts in the manga. The first arc with Future Guts, totally fine. The sensitivities he was lacking in the anime was my only real problem. But the idea I miscommunicated this also confused the shit out of me. Because I mentioned like 3 times in that video about the manga being superior and how episode 1...
Again, like the first episode, like he's sitting in the forest, he's trying to rest, and then he gets attacked by ghosts who are like threatening him that like no matter like what he does, he's doomed, and all his feelings are theirs because he's being marked. And like it's like an unsettling because like Guts is like shaking and like screaming after Griffith. Like, is that like emotionless to him? Or, like it doesn't show like any weakness to him. Seriously,
I guess not. He may be apologizing here, but I'm waiting for the but.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be glorious.
Oh, you've watched this already?
Yes, because somebody in the comments has recommended it, and I was like, oh, this is even worse.
Oh, no.
Joy. Okay. Let's go.
I just don't know like what kind of ego these 300k sub YouTube channels have, because like just like sell your brains once you reach like that. Or some of these channels that obviously go for like clickbait, because this last video was a clickbait for sure, and he's going to admit it that he was just like chasing after the algorithm.
Well, let's see. His last video is you will donate to the Animator Dormitory Project. Is this guy trans? Like, what the hell?
What?
I can't tell.
That'd be some shit.
Nah, he's just
zoned out
Australian.
and you suddenly said the word.
He's just Australian. Okay.
Did you say the T word?
I said the T word, yeah.
I zoned out for 1 second and things go weird. What the hell?
I don't know. The second video was 10 days ago, and an exhaustive critique of the infamous High Guardian Spice, and it has 252,000 views. So, it's a 51 minute long video. So
51 minutes.
Yeah. People like that
specifically about that scene or everything.
People like that animation. I guess I don't know.
I don't think they like it.
Anyway, it's not important. It's not part of the video. Let's keep going.
One hurt the source material, and even though I know Guts is better in the manga, I have a hard time getting into the series now. I'm sure I was clear I was only talking about episode 1, but when I talked to a couple of people in the comments and mentioned that I liked manga Guts, they were very civil, and they were like, okay, cool. So like, what the fuck? Here's what I think happened. See, I think I was saying one thing about the episode.
Okay, this is a very easy thing to argue. You look at any adaptation argument, how does it reflect the original source or whatever it was coming from? And you ask other people, hey, did you read the manga? What did you think? Oh, it was great. Hey, did you watch the anime? Yeah, it was good. You're like, well, why isn't it great? And then you give the reasons, and he would say, well, I think it's bad. And you're like, wait a second, why do you think it's... And you have that discussion, because it's very quick and easy to have with a fan, because they'd be happy to fill you in on why something works. And apparently he can't do that. He can't listen to other people's opinions on why anime is good or bad or whatever. It's not hard. It happens very quickly. Because they will tell when something is wrong. It is like a light in the darkness. Like, oh, really? That's bad. Okay, I understand now. So something happened to him where he can't understand what's good. And I'm not saying that's easy. Saying what's good is harder than saying what's bad. But when everyone's saying it to you, and they're saying the same thing, and they're telling you where you're wrong, that's where I have a problem with. And usually we address these people. I address some of these people on my channel, but they're usually in the minority. If not, they're obscurely off base. And that happens with fanboys of Mass Effect and anime and manga as well. So it's not some alien occurrence to genre or franchise. But it's usually something you could pick apart really quickly. It's like, okay, why are you so strongly against me? It's like, oh, you just really like this scene, or you really like Abby from The Last of Us Part 2. And it doesn't matter if any of this realism is believable, because they'll just use every argument. Oh, well, it's not supposed to be realistic, even though it is. And oh, this is not physically possible, even though I saw these things were possible. So there's all these other obscure arguments that don't help their cause, that are easy to see and easy to pick up on.
I like to add, I think this cat looks uncomfortable.
Well, yeah, you're staring at this.
It's been through an operation. It's probably still in pain.
And it's just camera being shoved in its face.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't. Maybe if you're like
the owner is so stoic towards this poor cat.
Maybe if you're 6 or 7 and you've never played with a cat before, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna just stare at it and be like, what the hell? It's gonna bite you eventually. Anyway.
Do it.
While accidentally presenting an argument that sounds like it applies to the manga as well. It's kind of like how people say, it's just my opinion, and then start criticizing other people's opinions. The argument between...
Yeah, but he said that in his video, I'm quite sure. Like halfway through.
Yeah, he said it as a fact. It's not just an opinion.
Yeah.
Praise the disclaimer. Both before and after I tackle my main criticism about Guts losing his sensitivities, I have a habit of calling him generic and edgy, brooding manly man, but those are all like superficial personality criticisms, and you could totally see manga Guts fulfilling those criteria as well. So I think people's interpretation was, okay, fair point on the sensitivities, because no one questioned that, but now you're claiming that all of these traits, like edgy and brooding, are bad, but manga Guts has those exact same qualities as well, so now you're hating on manga Guts. Yeah, now you're hating on manga Guts. When really what I was trying to say was...
I wish he would reference a comment just to know what the hell he's talking about.
Yeah, so you see that he makes this... this is just a one-shot. He didn't even edit the mistakes out.
Yeah, I love that he cherry-picked some of those easy comments where just hardcore fans just emotionally bashing this guy. While he ignores all the 1,000 other comments that may have point out exactly what was problematic with the video itself.
Well, there's some people in the comments praising him and saying no, you don't understand, blah de blah de blah.
Oh, that's just embarrassing as well. Some of the comments is oh well, this, you're the best YouTuber because you point out that you made a mistake. Okay, when you check the video itself, he's not going to admit that the video is bad. No, he's just referring that there was a miscommunication. Why is miscommunication when you just named that the first episode ruined Guts' character, which is just not true at all. It's the same character as just in the manga. If you compare the two, it's just they took out some of the characters for obvious reasons. You can't flesh out 5 characters in one anime episode. You have to make some sacrifices for an adaptation.
Yeah. Or you take very, very, very long time.
If you really want to go down... adaptation. If we really want to go down to the detail, in the first episode in the tavern where Guts saves the girl and the old man, those two get killed in the next chapter because they are the ones who take Guts and tell Guts that we can take you to the next town. And turns out that you see that if Guts decides to take company with normal humans, they get possessed, they get attacked by the ghosts, and they die. So that's why he can't be in any company at all. And that's an explanation of what kind of terror he has to live through his life. But of course, you can't really show a story like this in just one single episode. It was just fine. Like, he goes to the tavern, he tells the guys that, like, yes, I'm here. You should, like, inform the monster, and I'm gonna fight with the monster. And you see, like, what kind of character he is through that. Adding, like, more detail to that is just unnecessary, because you have, like, the next arc, which is the Golden Age one, to, like, flesh out this character much better. And you get to know him way better than just, like, that one fight or arc from his future self.
All right. Well, I'm assuming he's just filming his entire cat the entire time, and he's not changing.
Yes, it's only gonna be the cat. Sometimes with comments on screen. Yeah.
All right.
That I'm only calling him those things because he lost those sensitivities, not as well. Because this video in particular, I use these words very weirdly. Normally these are superficial traits that don't mean anything to me. An edgy or generic or brooding character to me is neither engaging nor disengaging. It's just kind of there, like with most character traits like peppy or obsessive. I mention this more in depth in my Lapis Mikasa video, and even make mention of characters like Zuko, who are indisputably angsty, but are good characters regardless. But for this video, because those words carry negative connotations, I decided to use it as an insult because what actually makes a character, the sensitivities and beliefs behind the personality, were taken away.
The thing with Lapis is a long
dumb,
shot.
And the reason I did it is because
what actually makes a character is their sensitivities?
Oh.
That's like saying, how sensitive are you to pepper? That's what makes a kind of personality.
It's kind of a weird state.
It's I think it explains the worldview of a generation.
I'm really sensitive to sunlight.
Where everybody is defined by the silliest weaknesses, and they indulge in the weaknesses.
Yeah, like I wouldn't say a vampire is defined by their inability to stand in the sunlight. That's one of their failings, but it's not their character. You could be
more disabilities, the better the character.
Yeah, you could be emotionally weak in certain areas. That's like one element. It's not your entire character. And plus, it's what you do with that reaction. It's not just, oh yeah, I feel bad or I feel good. It's like, okay, then what? Does that determine you're going to be scared of the sun? Does that mean you're going to laugh at it? Like, what does that mean? That's where you get some characterization, not the stimulus itself. I don't know. It's a strange take, but okay. He's like 1/3 the path to what he's trying to say.
Yeah, yes, you can overcome your sensibilities.
Yeah, if it's conflict,
you can overcome more relevant flaws than that.
Yeah, if
when you say sensibilities, it sounds like you're talking about really petty nonsense.
Right. If you have a little kid and he starts, I want to pick a fight with you, he starts punching you in the kneecap, you're like, yeah, okay. But that's not conflict. That's just a stimulus. Like, So if it doesn't bother me, it's not conflict, it doesn't build character, it doesn't change anything. It's not a big deal. Anyway, I see what he's trying to say. He's not just following through with the idea in the context of Guts and what that means in episode 1 of why that's a bad character representation or bad characterization.
Because the level of emotive one-liners and writing I put into a video is highly dependent on how easy I think it is to sell my argument. My most emotive and personal videos are generally the ones where I speak positively because I don't need to be careful about...
I don't even get ASMR, but that's what okay, whatever. Like, what? Come on.
Really?
Incredible content, man.
I don't understand it, but that's why it's so good. It's like you don't understand someone talking very softly or making a very soft sound close to a microphone.
Message 1 is he likes things he doesn't understand because they baffle him, dazzle him, or maybe even make him think.
So he's basically like a cat.
Yes.
Yeah?
Maybe it's him on this video.
The second one, if he doesn't get ASMR, I'd say there's some developmental thing broken.
Yeah. That's not rocket science or rocket surgery. It's very simple.
Mm-hmm. Rocket surgery.
My word choices. So you know that video a while back where I said I was going to stay away from hard sells because I was trying to stabilize my income?
More cat.
Yeah, that's still on. I just genuinely did not think this video was going to be a problem. I know that's hard to believe, but seriously, I was just like, I hate this episode. My experience with other people has been similar, and there are some significant differences from the manga, which usually mean people are already on your side. So I was like, cool. Episode must be universally regarded as bad, or at least mediocre, and people just don't really talk about it yet. All right, cool. Think of a clickable title. Boom. Oh, dear God. And because I thought it was going to be fine, is why I go on these tangent rants and have like little gags admitting I didn't do research and use these hard-hitting, like heavy emotional lines like "This isn't my guts."
Am I having hiccups on my end, or is the video?
No. The video is like that.
I would have been all careful business. Hell, I wouldn't have even done the video at all because I'm busy experimenting with algorithms. I don't want to have to.
You wouldn't have done the video if your opinion was wrong. Are you what? What is he talking about? If only I knew you guys would not have reacted negatively. I wouldn't have done the video. It's like, what?
Look, Smart, he's Australian. Like, English is just the second or third language for him.
What kind of bizarre idea to making videos is if you guys only liked my content?
He admits he's a pandering sub.
I don't know why.
He only wants to make things that people agree with so that they are happy. And he is happy that they like him.
Yeah, this
is narcissism. But he's young, so he gets a bit of a pass still. But fucking hell, grow out of it.
Is he like early 20s?
Yep, it sounds like it.
I believe so. Yeah,
he sounds like 15, 16.
Yeah, the reason why I started my YouTube channel back in the day was the people I was talking to online with were disagreeing with me, and I got so frustrated I just couldn't express myself properly, so I had to go and do it myself and make a YouTube channel and publish my ideas.
It just sounds like he doesn't know how to handle conflict.
It's the opposite idea of why I would want to write a book or say something. It's like, oh, I want everyone to like me. And if only they liked me, like I'll do a focus test, then I'll be like, oh, now I'll make a product that people want. And you're like, what? What do you like? He's treating it like a business or something.
It also implies that he would. So either he wouldn't say his true opinion, he would hide it, or which would be worse, that he would change his opinion to whatever he believed his audience wanted to hear. That would be outright horrible. But this is neither is a path you should go down.
Yeah, guys,
that's warping yourself.
If you have an opinion, please be honest with yourself and everyone else when you share it. You could be wrong. That's fine. Just say exactly what you believe. That's also fine. Don't say, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you guys were not going to like it. It's like, what?
It's not about liking it. It's about whether it makes what you say makes sense. And you can only figure out whether what you think makes sense if you engage in the conversation.
Right. And the people in the comments were pointing out what the problem was, I'm sure. And he didn't pick up on those because now he's obviously referencing 2 points which aren't very strong. I'm sure. There's other points to make that people did not like his video. And he just latched onto those, and that's why he's talking about them now. This is like not a goalpost moving, but it's like the goalpost is made out of straw, and he's like sort of, hey, look at this goalpost. You know, that's the thing you guys are talking about. It's like,
no, it's the opposite of a goalpost. Like he's just going way more inside the same direction.
It's moving the golf hole.
It's moving the straw man. It's moving the straw man over there.
Like, didn't you understand? I hate the first episode. I don't like emotionless guts. Who isn't emotionless at all?
Yeah.
Manage my fucking PR in the process. But fucking here we are. In future, when I have 2 different stories that are very similar in nature, I'm only criticizing one, I need to consider that volatile and return to being careful with my word choice. Anyway,
you need to be careful with your rationale.
One of the more emotive tangent rants where I use my language a bit more liberally and cause a confusion. But no.
More liberally? What?
Yeah, his grammar is so confusing. We have no idea what his vocabulary is trying to tell us.
His vocabulary is so liberal, I just don't understand.
All these compound words. Are, too complicated. I gotta go to school. Gotta learn some words. Okay.
Gotta learn more words too.
Just read it.
Quite honestly, when he was like putting examples from Harry Potter and Sword Art Online as a better way to introduce characters or having a better situation, which is just comparing like a scene from the first 2 minutes of a show, I'm like, oh, okay. Is it really about your vocabulary here?
I need an English degree.
You just watch absolute crap. The first things of anime and other stuff you've consumed in your life, in media, in fantasy, in sci-fi, whatever, have been crap. And that stuff defines your perception of it all. Because the first things we see, they stick with us. I am the generation that grew up with Neon Genesis Evangelion. And it took me a long time to see that it's way worse than just the ending. Well, I still have a little knack for it, but I just treat it as a juvenile sin.
Well, however, wait, Whisp, until you see the last movie.
I don't intend
that's
to
gonna
watch,
make you explode.
No. I don't intend to watch Redo, or whatever they called them. But the thing is, so he grew up with Sword Art Online and Harry Potter. Things that are not known for being well written. I don't. I'm sorry. You need a broader horizon. Read some of the classics. Watch Lord of the Rings if you're unable to read it.
Yeah,
if you don't have the patience for
it. Then you might actually need an English degree of some concept to understand words better.
But
you might be too young even for that.
Yeah, but read Terry Pratchett, read Wheel of Time. So not the best writing style, but great story. You are the generation who will grow up watching Wheel of Time, which has nothing to do with the books.
Yeah, I don't think.
And that is what this is what informs your thought about storytelling and media. And this is all crap. What is coming out right now, 99% of it is utter crap.
I don't think that you need a huge English comprehension level to understand the Japanese anime that is Berserk in the subtitles, at least.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that hard.
If I may ask, how old is this guy?
I don't know.
My guess is 16.
Oof.
I would say like early 20s.
Then his balls didn't drop.
Anyway, let's go.
And note with his base personality. I just have a problem with how the show took out those elements of depth. Everything else I said is pointless, airy-fairy writing that shouldn't have been included. And while I definitely think you could define Guts as edgy, my normal definition is, I guess, sadism, cruelty, and too cool for school. It's just kind of a personality descriptor. It's neither really good or bad. I don't really subscribe to the normal use of edgy as criticism. I just decided that this time I was going to use it as an insult for a character who lost the actual part that makes a character, because I didn't anticipate how seriously I was supposed to be selling this argument for this video, and it just sounded good for the rant.
What part
slight oversight on my part.
It just sounded good, guys. I just made it for fun. It's just a thing I did. It's okay.
It was just a joke, man.
What?
What character part did Guts lose that makes him not a good character, or whatever he said?
Well, no.
Because he's not telling everyone that, like, oh, I don't like to be touched.
Yeah, but this is not the content argument. This is like the comedian argument. I'm just trying to get a laugh out of you guys. It wasn't funny. Okay, whatever.
So you're intellectually worthless.
That sounds so
pretty
wrong.
much, yes.
Yeah.
Delete your channel.
Delete yourself.
Cool. Next fuck up. A good chunk of the comments seem to be defending the actual episode, possibly. It might just all stem from the problem before, but a combination of comments on this video and on the first episode here on YouTube, as well as me changing the title from the episode that ruined Guts to the worst episode, and the dislike ratio getting worse as a result, and remembering that one time a friend did actually think this episode was alright, and debating one of my YouTube buddies who wanted to defend this episode. Who wanted to defend this episode. It all leads me to the idea that maybe a chunk of people are just getting defensive because they like the first episode of Berserk, and I haven't acknowledged the element that does it for them. Instead, I'm just dismissing it all as terrible. Now, if you're familiar with how I do analysis, see what is good, if a large subsection of people like something I don't, then that's an indication of bias from me. I've never before seen something I'd regard as majority bias. I just
you're
think it's more
contrarian.
likely that when there's a large group of people who naturally like something, there must be an engagement.
Wait a second. Okay. Let's take Transformers. People like it and think it's good for different reasons why I think Tolkien is good and why I like it. Like there's two different reasons. Like there's different ways of liking something. So there's nothing wrong with saying I like Mass Effect because it's a cool sci-fi shooter opera thing. Like, okay, fine. It's the details that we say, well, when you talk about sci-fi opera, what elements of the are they're reminiscent of space opera? You're like, okay, well, Asimov's idea of the world ending and a galactic threat and this sort of stuff. It's like, yeah, you could pull that from classic authors, sure, but it's not the same. It's its own interpretation. And of course it is. Like, yeah. So I like those elements. Are they expressed well? Maybe in the first story, not in the second and third. So there's reasons to like something and disliking something, even if it's the same topic. So the details really matter.
It'd actually be very weird that everyone likes something or dislikes something for the exact same reason.
It depends what angle. Like you're looking at the same thing, right? And I'm looking at it from this angle, and you're looking at it from that angle. And what it comes down to is my evidence from my perspective have more relevance, and does it contradict what you're saying? If you dislike it or like it, we have to see what argument is the best based on the evidence that we're both looking at, just from different angles. That's all it is. Because people can like and dislike something, like the gameplay is too simplistic, but that's why it's fun, or the gameplay is too simplistic, that's why it's boring. Different styles of gamers, different styles of what people want out of their genre. So there's reasons for why we have these standards, and it doesn't come out of thin air. It doesn't come out of our emotions. We've had these genres for decades, and we can reference, say, well, look at the first-person shooter genre when it started with Doom. Why was that a thing? Why did it work out that way? Why does rocket jumping work and not work? Why does the sniper rifle work and not? Like all these different arguments for the details of a thing. And why something is fun or not fun. People say there's lots of subjectivity, and I say yes, there is definitely lots of subjectivity. What makes something good or bad, but next to that is the whole objective element of did you see this before? Do you have history with this media or this content? Can you argue why the railgun is superior to UK 2K or Unreal Tournament 2K3's sniper rifle? Like why? There's all kinds of arguments to be made in every genre and every medium. And you just have to assess them and see why something is good or bad. Because in most cases, it's usually not as bad as you think. It's the special cases that I get excited about, like Mass Effect and Star Wars. And it's like, holy, you just dig deeper and deeper and you find all this evidence that the writing is really bad. And no one cared to think about it. There's a lack of thinking, in fact. Which is tends to be the case. Anyway.
Basically, if I can't see what that is, then generally implies that I have another engagement bias that I haven't noticed. I did a lot of thinking, and I realized that I'm really bad at seeing spectacle. It's been in the back of my mind for a while now, but honestly, I think I've been a little averse to mentioning it because, it sounds like hipster bullshit elitism. Because for someone who's really bad at seeing it, I guess I go, oh, you just like pretty colors and big dudes swinging giant swords. But I think it's a bit more than that. In fact, I think I'd like to formally define it as entertainment.
Is that a real cover or sarcastic
phone? Fucking run out of charge another time. Fuck, where was I?
That cat looks like it wants to whack him.
Okay, I'd like to formally define
slash him in the
spectacle as engagement through extremes, and that starts to fill in the gaps for me.
Even the breathing looks like she's irritated.
Berserk episode 2 is like a normal couple of sword fights, but in episode 1 it's like giant sword this, cannon on this, half a body flying over your head there. I think that's where it's coming from, although I'm completely incapable of feeling that. But since the Undertale video, I've started to broaden my horizons a bit and get into Western.
So I kind of hate Undertale.
I ended up building a whole other list of things that my love for doesn't match the popularity. And you know what? This explains a whole bunch of them. For instance, Mad Max Fury Road, really popular movie, but when I got out of it, I was just like, that was just one really long action scene. What was up with that? But
yeah, that was.
I mean, that's the appeal of Matt. That's the point. That's the appeal of Mad Max.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a roller coaster.
Yeah,
and that it does well.
That was one of the better
thing is,
Mad Maxes. Yeah.
The thing is, he makes the mistake that he forgets, or maybe hasn't realized yet, that he is an individual, and he is not required to like what the masses like, because not every individual of the masses likes everything that is popular by the masses as a whole.
But how else is he gonna make clickbait videos then?
That's a good question.
Well, the example of the movie, like I remember seeing that in theaters with my girlfriend at the time, and she's very pro female and this and that. She was like, "Oh wow, power, girl power." I was like, "Yeah, it's a great film." I liked it for the exact reason he said. The one action scene, it was just drive the truck one direction, then turn around and go the other direction. Like it's a simple enough setting, but it works. And it's easy to understand. The imagery works. The action is pretty wild, over the top at times, but you understand what's going on. It's clear what everyone's trying to do. I didn't like the extremely clear voice over of the main character, the male. Mm-hmm. That was like, okay, that is too crisp. Like it was just too refined to sound. I want to hear some depth between the microphone and the guy speaking, not like right in my ear.
I agree that I noticed that too.
Yeah, that was
but then he only had like 3 lines.
He didn't say too much. Yeah, that's true. it was the one thing that's sort of like, well, that was weird. Other than that, it was a fun film. It wasn't that complicated. It was a bit weird because it was a different take on Mad Max, but it was classic Mad Max. It's great.
Yes.
My engagement go. Every action scene to me is just an action scene. I notice it with good hand-to-hand choreography for some reason. I love Ruby, but that's about it. Even One Punch Man that I mentioned in the video, I didn't really like that much. It was okay. But
wow! What? Holy crap!
You have standards?
Why does it all go back to Ruby?
He likes Ruby.
You, sir, have no taste.
Yeah, he likes Ruby more than One Punch Man. Okay, all right. Those are your tastes.
Fucking hell.
Okay, so your anime fan card just got revoked.
Yeah, you like a cheap hot dog from the corner more than a steak in a restaurant.
Right, exactly. Thank you. That was a great example, yeah. And that's fine. That's fine. If those are your tastes, that's fine. But now we know where now we know where he's coming from. It's like, okay, this is what he likes. That explains so much.
Why does he use One Punch Man as the example when he doesn't even watch One Punch Man that much? Like he doesn't even know the material, and like he doesn't like it that much. I doubt he even understands why scenes are happening in One Punch Man the way they are.
Yeah. I assume he is very young, and this is he has very limited knowledge of media. That gives me an idea that he is growing up in a time where everything is subversive, everything is subversion of previous classic, honest. I'm lacking the right word here. Stories, but he doesn't know the actual honest stories, the things that are played straight, that are written straight. So the subversive stories are his norm, are his standard, and thus he doesn't even get the subversion. He doesn't know why the things, as you said, are happening, and he also doesn't know why they are funny.
I think if he can't understand what One Punch Man is, he could possibly understand some of the drama in Berserk. It's not that complicated, but it's kind of it's adult, it's serious. So, I mean, you wouldn't be able to appreciate actual films with normal drama plots and characters falling in love and hating each other and wanting to hurt each other. He wouldn't connect at all. He'd be like, oh, bunch of people slice of life, trying to have relationships. I don't know. What is this all about? Like, you're going to learn very quickly, I hope.
Hopefully.
Yeah, like maybe he's more in like for kids shows and stuff like that. I don't know.
Marvel movies are another good example. Like, there are some story elements, but they're mostly big blockbustery Western action series that I don't really get. But I decided to finally get around to...
Okay, wait a second. Slow down. He doesn't understand Westerns that are...
What? Did he just say that?
Let's rewind that. Like, what does he get?
I missed a second.
Let's try this.
Oh, like Western media.
I really liked it that much. It was okay, but I didn't get the hype. Marvel movies are another good example. Like, there are some story elements, but they're mostly big blockbustery Western action series that I don't really get. I decided to
He means Western media.
Western, yeah. So the
Not
Marvel universe, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, not
it's
the
superhero.
The
I don't
Wild
understand
West.
what's not to get.
Superhero films are extremely straightforward.
Yes.
Yeah. Especially Marvel. They're cut and copy almost.
They are trying to attract as many people as possible, so the stories and plots would be super clear and basic.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they are making like Marvel movies for normies, but like he's clearly not normie. He's like
You could
way
say-
below a normie.
Yeah, if Marvel does it right, which they more and more rarely do,
Nowadays.
is the hero with 1,000 faces, the monomyth, but very simplistic. Shang-Chi goes more in that direction again, but it's not much to speak of.
Yeah, this is straightforward storytelling or adventure storytelling. It's not inherently complicated. If it is, you're going to have a lot of people scratching their heads. Even what's the one with Vin Diesel, where he's
Guardians.
that? Sorry,
Fast and Furious.
Guardians. And Marvel, Guardians of the Galaxy.
no, not Marvel. I'm sorry, the one prior to that, where he plays that guy with the eyes that can see in the dark or whatever. It's this fantasy future world.
Oh fuck!
Riddick.
Oh, I know what you
Riddick.
mean.
Riddick.
Yeah.
That I don't know about the first
Don't wanna
one.
watch this.
Pitch Black, I think. The second one is where it gets really interesting. I don't know if he's going to be able to grasp some of those elements. Like, even though it's an action adventure story, like he wouldn't understand why are all these dudes who are, was it Necromicons or Necro something or others that keep what they kill or whatever. Like, he wouldn't understand these big different alien ideas. He was like, what are these? Why are they all in a kingdom? What are they trying to do? Why don't they just have democracy and get along? And it's like, what?
Yeah, like imagine this dude watching Dune.
Oh God,
He's
forget
like,
about it.
What's happening?
Forget about. Don't even mention it.
bored to death.
He would be like, "Why are these ships flying around? Who are these? Why are they fighting?"
He's gonna be like, I hate Sam.
Why does he put a hand to the box? Why is it painful?
Why are they mean to each other? Oh, necromongers or something like that. That's what they were called. With Judi Dench. That was cool. Anyway,
Yeah.
good. I love that film. It's really cool. It's one of those cool sci-fi, like Fifth Element cool. It's like, oh, it's got that sort of mystic sci-fi vibe to it, doing something different. Good special effects, good production value.
That's a world I would have liked to have seen more from.
Yeah. Anyway, he would never enjoy that film, or any well done sci-fi. Let's just say that any science fiction.
Yeah. I'm just getting this
Juvenile
idea right
reaction.
now. It's a like a mini epiphany. Fifth Element, from watching it, how the world is made and written, it feels like the sci-fi worlds in Franco-Belgian comics.
Sure.
Yeah.
The colors, the cityscapes.
Yeah, the wacky, over, what are you saying? It's a little exaggerated parts, but still everything works together.
It is very comic book like, yeah. The aliens are very rubbery and fun. The guns are all over the place, like they're all different kinds of technology.
The way the characters interact and are written.
Oh God, yeah. Is that Chris Rock? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
because Valerian, even though it's very stomped together, the movie, because it's like 3 stories jumped together into one. That's why the movie is a bit odd. But it's watchable. It has a similar vibe in regards to the how the science fiction is set up. Like it's an already fully developed world where tons of things are going on, tons of technologies, tons of races are, and you're just thrown into it. And you're on this not necessarily roller coaster, but like you're walking through an art gallery.
It is a very action. The pacing is pretty quick. Like there's very slow lulls, but it just ramps up again and again, and it just throws stuff on the screen, which is not horrible, but it's production value quality. It's very high. And they'll have a scene with an opera house, like, whoa, what's going on? And then action scene within that. Mm-hmm. And then they'll have some little gore scene of pulling those.
Yeah, because we hit the magic rocks inside the guts of the opera singer.
Why?
And I wonder, where in that dress did you fit that into the body? Where are the organs?
Where are the organs, exactly?
It was in the body.
For once, a valid question.
It was.
Give Valerian a watch if you like the world in general. The writing put aside a little bit. If you like the world in general, give the comics a look. They're pretty good.
All right. Yeah, I would say the comics look pretty good too.
Yeah, but say you use the movie as a primer.
Down to pushing myself to the Avengers after this video got a backlash and I felt like shit, and I thought more and more about it and I concentrated really hard and I started to notice that action is more than just choreography. It's like stuff flying everywhere and there's lasers and shit, big face-offs, and like 6 different characters and spinning shots.
Okay, this is amazing. Like he got like so disappointed by his video, he went on to watch some action movies to understand action. Because maybe he doesn't understand what action
Infinity
is.
Wars and Guardians of the Galaxy because of stronger story and snappy one-liners, respectively. It explains why sometimes when I come out of a movie with friends and I start complaining about the story, one of my friends will say, "Why does it have to be about the story? Why can't it just be fun?" That's what people mean. And the Berserk equivalent is when I complain about how a random girl didn't work as a satisfying revenge plotline, and people call it nitpicking because it's me trying to find.
It's not a revenge plotline.
Revenge? You're just intervening. I don't think he was there for the girl.
Guts didn't give a fuck about the girl. Just like killed them to send a message.
Loads of popularity when it just didn't. Because it's all set in basically a boring courtroom with no spectacle. It works way better.
Got this more of a bigger picture kind of guy.
Being animated
exactly.
and taking the challenge element away really just adds nothing because it doesn't profit from the spectacle that animations provides. It explains why every time people make a big deal out of the big battles in Game of Thrones, I'm like, that's not what Game of Thrones is about. Why do they bother? But I can kind of see it now. Crazy shit is happening. It's chaos. There's horses and fights everywhere, and one horse slams into another horse. Like, I get it.
Yeah, but that's not.
No, that's not what it's about. No,
that's not even a good part of Game of Thrones. Especially that fight was really bad.
Yeah, it's not about random shit happening and stuff being chaotic and overwhelming. That's not what makes a good action scene.
There's a
because
part...
then every jump cut too close action scene would be good, and no, they're usually shit.
Whenever you notice a glaring flaw, like that one is especially. Jon Snow, what does he do? Get off his horse and just starts pulling out his sword. He's like, "I'm going to take on an army." Like, Jon, what the hell are you doing? You're going to get trampled to death. And then the horses just miss him as they fly by. It's the dumbest shit. You're sitting there going like, this is stupid. Who would do this in armored and mounted combat? It's like, this is the dumbest thing you could have done.
Yeah. Good action scenes, ironically enough, is One Punch Man, because it manages to pull off tension in fights where we know that the winner is going to be Saitama without a struggle. And still, the action has impact.
Because the issue, or the main issue we know, is the plight of Saitama's desire for relevance. And he's going to try again to save the day because he's a hero. He said, "I am a hero. I'm going to save the day." But but he doesn't like doing it anymore. It's sad. It's kind of funny that way. The same with
the desperation of his villains is what also plays into that a lot.
Yeah, and this takes the whole isekai genre on its head, because when we think of isekai, we think of the overpowered hero who we know is going to save the day, although there's the element of losing or not winning the same method that we think. Because he's so overpowered, he's going to pull out some other card we've never seen or whatever. So with Saitama, it's like we know he's going to win. We know it's going to be sad and funny. And that's the joke. That's the point. It's to see him go, oh, not again.
No, that doesn't have anything to do with isekai.
Well,
it's many isekai characters are overpowered, yes, but that is One Punch Man is not an isekai.
No, I'm not saying it is. I'm saying that element of having the overpowered character in isekai is like, okay, yeah, he could lose. It's possible. There are definitely scenarios in isekai, because I've read so many, that
so there must be something.
Yeah, there's something aside from just the power and he's going to save the day. No. There's something else on top of that, on top of the action, that makes me want to read. Does the girl die? Does this amazingly powerful attack blow away the forest and kill everyone? I don't know. Is that going to happen? Yeah. Is there a consequence for that power? I don't know. That's what I want to find.
It's honestly what I personally really liked about the overly cautious hero.
That is the details that someone who is super conscious of everything is like, I thought of every conceivable problem. Like,
yeah, and it is one of the, I'd say, rare instances where it manages to build up to the revelation at the end on why he does this, why he is like that.
Yeah, it's a weird take, actually.
Yeah, and that works once. Sure, you can't pull this off twice, but it works. This one made it work. And even near the end, you have a few scenes where the hero is basically setting up a day where his party members get to have days off and do nice things. But he knows they wouldn't want to do that if he told them. So he just creates situations where they get that, and that is how he, who is insanely stoic, where his character shines through passively.
Yeah, this is very reminiscent of, let's say, Trigun, where we see Vash, or was it Vash? How do you pronounce that? Vash, yeah. The first 10 episodes, he's showing off his skills. He's super fast. He's super strong.
It's cartoonish.
He's goofy. And then all of a sudden it gets dark and serious. You're like, holy crap, what happened? Now he has a plot. Now he really cares about something, and he's traumatized because he doesn't kill anyone. Oh my God, what's going to happen to him?
And you learn that, his cartoonish behavior, like dodging bullets in mid-frame, that's not just cartoon humor. He can actually do that, and there's a reason why.
Yeah, he's
just playing it off like a goofball cartoon character, so as to not intimidate people.
Yeah, it's an interesting technique, because usually when I think of plots, I want a solid, understood, clear plot from the beginning, and that can flourish into whatever you want. And with that, even with Bebop, with Cowboy Bebop, it's so random. It's still fun to watch, and the music is so good, and the action's so good. You're like, I'm going to keep watching, and then all of a sudden, boom, you get this dark story about Jet and his ex-wife, and like, what happened there? And you get to see it, and that's just one episode. And then we jump to a fun, crazy one with Ed and Ein, and I don't know what the hell they're doing, playing chess or whatever. So it throws you for a loop every time. It's always different. It's always fun, and how they mesh those genres together and art styles and music styles is it's fascinating to watch. So there's always there's a fan of something in someone in Bebop. That's what I learned, because you could not get the story, you could be bored of the animation, but still get the character, still get the music, or still get the action. So it's one of those experiences. Same with Trigun. It grows into something. They focus on something serious. So it's not just goofy. All Okay.
Think I get it. And so that's why Lord of the Rings doesn't make sense to me.
Oh my.
What? Lord of the Rings is not great because of the army scene.
Didn't we just say something about he's not going to get like
What do you
science
mean
fiction?
doesn't make sense?
Like,
can you explain that?
How does this not make sense, dude?
It's good versus evil, man. It's really straightforward.
Like, this is like still amazing to me. Like, I've watched this video before, but yeah, he has like so little confidence in his clickbait piece of shit video that he went on and watched action movies to understand that, like, maybe I just don't understand action scenes. What the hell? No.
What he doesn't understand, seems to be human interactions.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is like
basic interactions. Like, he doesn't understand them. So he's gonna
like,
go like, Ruby is much better at this. Like, oh, what? Excuse me?
That's why I say, as mean as it sounds, see a therapist. If you're still a teen, you have much better access to that as when you're older.
Well,
you can still work on these things. You can still figure these out. You can still flip the switch.
I see this as a guy who's like watched a comedy special. He didn't laugh at any of the jokes. And he starts analyzing comedians to try and get the joke.
Oh my! It's like the Joker scene when he's like laughing at all the bad jokes.
Oh god! No, he's laughing at all the moments where there is not a joke.
Yes,
like something is off.
He doesn't understand.
Okay.
Oh my god!
And there's no point. There's no point in us leaving a comment for this guy. He's not like it's worthless. Like, don't even.
Yeah. I want to say to this. He seems too emotional and friendly to be a psychopath, but the lack of this kind of skill makes me worry.
This is the kind of
guy. If you don't understand how other people work, please see a therapist. Speak to this with a therapist.
Well, I don't know what kind of personal life he has if he needs a therapist, but this is not the guy you want reviewing media.
I like JT Joseph's comment. This guy should stick to reading Dr. Seuss.
I don't know. I think poetry might confuse him. He'd be like, "What is this green egg? What's a green egg? I've never eat. Is that bad for you? Why would I eat a green egg?
Is that a weakness?
Is
disliking it a weakness?" If like this character was introduced like in the first page, I would have liked this book. But now I'm like,
Who is Sam? Why is Sam I am always in the story? I've never met Sam.
What is the Lorax?
Why do these hats fit on his head? They're too long.
Why does he care about the trees? I don't know. Like, nobody explained this to me.
Cat? What is thing 1 and thing 2?
Why is he wearing the hat?
Why is there a cat in the hat?
My cat doesn't have a hat. He's fine. I just performed surgery on his leg. That's,
Okay, just so you know, he's not autistic. Autists can figure this out. It's something else.
We don't want to speculate. Let's just say that. I'm happy with.
Just saying what I am just clearing up what it is.
I would think sociopath. Whatever. Like, are there levels of sociopath?
Oh, of course.
You just can't understand.
Well, not necessarily that
sociopaths are rather made, but it's something in the B category. There's just some developmental step is missing.
Yeah,
because this is a skill that at your age you should have.
Yeah, let's not speculate.
Cognitive ability you should have
on his failings. Let's just listen to his commentary because that's good enough. It's as far as we can go. We have
almost done.
Yeah, 4 or 5 minutes. Okay.
4 minutes.
I always thought these long battles were tedious and pointless, but now, all right, spectacle.
Pointless?
It's fucking huge.
Spectacle.
Hell, I thought the backlash to the video was.
What? You didn't notice that there were huge battles?
Mother's Basement did a Goblin Slayer video recently.
Oh no! No! Not that video.
You had a chunk of the fan base who genuinely.
We didn't really see the rape.
And then you have some jackass critic coming in who didn't like it, saying that you shouldn't like it either, and it has 0 redeeming qualities. when he tries to explain the love with a combination of politics and emotional manipulation, people get pissed because you're not properly weighting the engagement that causes them to actually like it. And that's the funny thing. I didn't really care for Goblin Slayer, except I guess the kind of clever strategy thing I liked. But I think the whole divide on Goblin Slayer might just be a divide in engagement alignments. People who...
What the hell is he talking about? Divide in engagement and alignments? Alignment toward what? Paying attention?
That we are divided?
What is he talking about? My D&D alignment? Like, what is he talking about? What's going on here?
Don't align with spectacle might just be turning to politics to explain why people like it when they don't.
Why would you turn to politics to explain Goblin Slayer?
What happened?
I don't know.
Goblin Slayer is a story about trauma and creative solutions.
Not everything has to be political.
No. It's about Mother's Basement's Goblin Slayer review, where he was claiming that it was not doing rape right.
How is the right way to do rape? There's no one type of rape.
Well, he explains it in the video. I do not want to repeat it.
What the hell? I might be lost what he's trying to say. I'm like, what is going on here? Political alignment to appreciate and understand Goblin Slayer.
Was that his words?
Well, rewind a bit. I was lost.
What I understand is that, like, maybe he thinks that, like, the two groups of people who like his video and who dislike it, it's like that's what's happening under the video. Is that, like, one group likes it and agrees with him, while the other one is like causing shit.
All right, let's try this one more time.
And that's the funny thing. I didn't really care for Goblin Slayer, except I guess the kind of clever strategy thing I liked. But I think the whole divide on Goblin Slayer might just be a divide in engagement alignments. People who don't align with spectacle might just be turning to politics to explain why people like it when they don't. Of course, I didn't even do that because I didn't even know people liked
you tried to say something here. You tried to say something here. And if I listen to this 12 times more, I might figure out what you were trying to say. But you're just lining words up, bits and pieces of sentences that are in your head, that it just turns out into salad. You just said nothing.
He's saying people don't align with the spectacle, and to explain that, they go to politics to explain what the spectacle was about.
What is the spectacle?
I'm not going to try further to figure out what he was trying to say, because he doesn't know what he was trying to say.
Yeah, no,
he didn't think about what he's trying to say. He is unable to articulate his thoughts, if even he knows his thoughts.
And I don't even think Goblin Slayer is much of a spectacle. It's all the Goblin Slayer, and he's planning stuff out, and he does a certain action, and he explains why he did it that way. And
there's lots of talking. Most of it is pretty chill.
Yeah, it's not all blood and gore.
More like a
the first episode is.
Crawler.
He really shouldn't have done a one take. He should have practiced this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Goblins. What I like, one detail I liked about it was that the dungeon crawling is depicted rather realistically, in the sense that most of the time that you walk through a dungeon, nothing happens. You're just walking down corridors, and you're careful, and that's what most of the adventures are in Goblin Slayer. And then you have your one big action scene, your one big fight, and after that you're pretty battered. If you've ever played like AD&D or D&D 3.5, that's often, especially on the early levels, exactly what it's like, because you have like 5 hit points when you're a mage. Like you get bitten by a rat and you're almost dead.
I did like Shad Diversity's take on the longsword when he was referring to Goblin Slayer, because like, why is this guy swinging his sword over his head when he's just stab straight forward this long-reaching sword in the cave? I was like, yeah, why not? That sounds pretty simple. It's pretty easy.
Was that about the intro with the newbie?
Yeah, the newbie knight. Yeah, the guy who swings his sword and hits
because they had absolutely no training, and that guy was hitting the cave walls and ceiling all the time. Because he's an idiot. It was deliberately made that way to show us this is an idiot, and idiots die because this is a serious world.
Okay, anyway, let's go.
But I think in truth, the people who like it were responding to the extreme and ruthlessness, and not just the rape part, which, for the record, I don't give a shit about. I mean, bitch, I read Made in Abyss. I think,
we noticed you
I lost that
effect.
moral ground. But whatever, I'm all up for artist expression, no matter what it is. But what I mean is that, like, shit just fucking hits the fan. It's chaos. The stuff is happening everywhere. It has extremeness to it that you just wouldn't find in a normal drama, no matter how deep the story is. I mean, just
It's
look at the way
really
Noah's
not.
Basement talks about the Marvel movies. These huge popular movies is just like, it's fun, I guess. But then he raves about Infinity War, the one with much stronger story elements. Back to Goblin Slayer, he gave one line to the actual engagement and called it like a fun, schlocky action. But like me, he kind of concentrates a bit too hard on strategy elements and then goes on to dismiss all forms of the extreme as an engagement, instead opting to consider a poor attempt at a revenge plot where you want to get the audience to hate the antagonist. And oh look, that's exactly what I did with Berserk. Spectacle bias also explains out of entertainment concepts.
Spectacle bias?
What?
He's inventing a bias towards spectacle and claiming that's what people who detract from him are saying. Because violence is cool or whatever, therefore it's a good scene. No one is saying this.
Can he name like a single comment that's claiming this? Did he just like make up this himself?
This is like saying, Transformers is good because it's action-packed. It's like, that's why you watch Transformers. It's supposed to be this crazy explosion-ish, schlocky, ridiculous spectacle. We know that. It's not a bias. We're cognizant. We know it's happening. It's like, look at all those explosions and CGI. It's awesome. That's it.
And also, first and foremost, it's made to sell toys.
And it has that all kinds of merchandising. Yeah, for sure.
Especially the toys.
Yeah, the toys are awesome. They're really cool. So
yes, they are.
Yeah,
that cannot be denied.
Even when I was a kid, I was impressed with 57 Gundam transformation moves to turn your robot into a jet. I was like, ooh, cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah, so
and there goes a lot of work into designing that.
Yeah, it's amazing. So there's lots of things to appreciate, even in a schlocky mess like Transformers. Maybe not the story or characters, but there's still something to enjoy.
At least the Transformers designs, at the very least, they're interesting.
Sure, but we can look at spectacle like a John Woo film, and my brain will just naturally count the gunshots from one revolver, and it goes into like the 30s and 40s, and the guy has not reloaded once. But it's like, okay, fine, I get that. I could put that to the side because everyone else has these same kinds of guns. So it's like, okay, fine. How does he get out of this scenario?
At that point, it's just a matter of skill.
Well, counting
within
bullets
within the universe of the film.
Yeah, once you have a Glock or any of those kinds of guns where it's kind of, you don't know how big the bullets are or how big the magazine is. Once it get past 12, you're like, all right, that's past my limit for believability. So,
yeah, true.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
But it's not about believability. It's about this amazing action scene of crazy angles and jumps and kicks and flying up walls and blowing away churches with the revolver or whatever.
Yeah.
You get the genre. You understand the medium. You go, oh, this is pornography. Oh, it's not supposed to have a plot. That makes sense. I get it. Okay. Enjoy the spectacle. It's not, I'm biased towards the spectacle. It's like that's that's the reason why I'm watching it. With Berserk, the scene in the bar it's not about the spectacle. It's about, there's bad guys. Now Guts is going to come in there to be the main character dude. And he has other reasons why, but it's good enough.
Just his understanding that he thinks that it's a revenge scene. That's just saying it enough. That he doesn't understand animation at all.
He doesn't
like,
understand.
If he sees like Steamboat Willie, he's like, wow, this is such a strong political message. Like the boat is going to the left,
Really?
So it means that like society should also be left leaning from now on.
Really? A cartoon from just under 100 years ago. Literally.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet. If like somebody just puts that fucking animation in his face, he's gonna say that like, yes, this is the message. Right?
Again, a cartoon from literally just under 100 years ago.
You can
Just
overinterpret anything.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just still amazed at his brain. Like, how did he miss the scene of like God struggling to like rest from the demons hunting him? And he's still supposedly like the extremely generic hero.
He has never been through hardship.
All right.
He has never feared anything. He's never panicked.
Here's a
He's had a sheltered life, and otherwise he would have something to relate to in that scene.
Here is Rowan Harushan. Thank you for the 5. Oi, Smud, did you just call Gundam a transformer? Dem's fighting words, mate. Just kidding. Have a good day.
It kind of is fighting words at that point. Be confused those.
Yes, Gundams do transform. Not all of them, but most of them, yes. It's okay. It's not the end of the world, guys. Anyway, we have 2 minutes, pretty much. Yeah.
More or less, yeah.
Okay, we're almost done.
Almost there.
Concepts like sightseeing, where when I was a kid and I went to tourist spots with my family, I was like totally
When
dispassionate.
Kitty hit him.
I'm like, what's the big deal? It's a big open space and there's mountains and shit. Even now, I don't leave the house much and I have no passion for travel or nightclubs or going out.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with not wanting to go to a nightclub.
Really. I mean, there's nothing wrong with just living your life. Damn the consequences.
I get it. You don't like
Within
going out.
safety.
No. Well, the main reason I put it that way is like you live and you learn. It's like shit happens.
Yeah.
This is just getting worse.
This is hilarious. When I was a
Yeah,
kid,
it's just getting.
and my parents took me to the zoo, I didn't care about the open spaces and the animals. I was like, what the fuck? Why am I looking at animals, Mom? Why am I here?
People don't like my Berserk video. Okay, I'm gonna watch action movies. I'm just gonna go to the zoo and like the mountains, but I don't really like to go outside.
Clubs are dark and weird. I don't understand why to go to a club.
What the fuck?
Some bars are actually really nice.
Why do women dress up in dresses and smell? I don't understand. Why would they do that? Why would they dance? What's dancing?
Why do some of them wear jeans?
Anyway, look at my cat.
This must be the most sheltered guy we've ever encountered. He's like, what the hell is the world? What is the world? I don't understand society. What is that place you go to eat food? Like, why would you go and sit down and eat food? Like,
Do you think he's ever watched pornography?
I thought I was pathetic as a kid, but bloody hell.
I get it. Some kids don't get off on going to the zoo or going on trips. That's fine. That's not an argument for your adult life.
Yeah, I didn't have the opportunities. I had a shitty childhood. Okay. What the fuck keeps you?
Well, I think he needs a haircut first. That'd be a good start.
The cat.
No, not the cat.
Room and put those cables into proper places.
Don't shave the cat anymore.
No.
Leave the cat alone.
Please, can you look at something else besides the cat?
Yeah, I know. Just staring at his ass all the time. Oh, yeah.
I'm doing shit in the background. I'm safe.
We need he'll give us more close-ups of the cat, which completely irritates the cat and is not funny. This is something that 8-year-olds do.
And then shave the cat.
Okay. Anyway.
Out to events, it all just seems kind of boring to me. I'd rather just play a game that challenges me, I guess. It explains power scaling, it explains gore, it explains High School of the Dead, and what some people refer to as the rule of cool. It explains Shadow of the Colossus bosses. Actually,
What?
I always thought they were cool, but I never ignored
Is he talking about the spectacle thing again? Bias of spectacle explains Shadow of the Colossus bosses?
My brain is collapsing in on itself.
What is this bizarre? I found a secret to this many aspects of storytelling called bias towards spectacle. Let me explain video games too. Like, what the fuck? Power scaling? What the hell does power scaling have to do with anything?
The rule of cool.
There's a little more to why the Shadow of the Colossus bosses work the way they do than just spectacle. There's a special solemn atmosphere about it all.
You could argue that those are aspects of spectacle, but that's not explaining it.
I don't know.
What is he on about?
Why? The atmosphere made me feel like it was okay to like it, or something. I don't know. Oh, I originally put that one scene with the guy chucking the cross-continent spear from Seven Deadly Sins down to a character investing moment, but it makes so much more sense as a spectacle scene. And I actually felt that one, by the way. So this might be more towards the upper end, because if you watch my Undertale video, my experiences with biases have always been really inconsistent. Sometimes I notice, but most of the time I don't. When I do notice, though, it tends to be combined with another engagement. I know people gave me a lot of different arguments for why Episode 1 was good, but this one is the clearest and biggest difference from Episode 1 to 2, and forming it makes a sense of a whole bunch of other things, so I'm actually pretty content with this one for now. I guess we'll see what you guys think. This was supposed to be a PR video, but I instead hijacked it to form a new theory.
A PR video?
You hijacked your own video?
What theory did you present?
Maybe he's coming with it now?
No.
That he's even dumber than we originally thought? Because, this is even worse than the initial video that he made on Berserk.
He's clumping people together in this supposed category of spectacle and calling it spectacle bias to explain all their misgivings with his opinion.
We like Berserk because of dumb action. Thank you, dude.
Because of revenge plots that don't exist and
revenge plots against characters that we don't know, but a character that doesn't know the characters.
I'm a bit lost here now.
I don't know if this one will go over perfectly, but I never do. At least it wasn't a total waste of time for me, I guess. Anyway,
for you,
Berserk Episode 1 is alright. I still don't think
What?
it does much with depth of...
It's alright. I thought you didn't like it.
People were upset Snice changing his opinion.
What the?
But 5 minutes ago he said it's straight up shit.
No, it's alright. Because, oh my god.
Please don't hate me.
He's just adapting his opinion to the majority. He is not a thinking person. He just feels.
You know, what's
and he wants to be part of the group. He wants to be loved no matter what. So he will change his opinion anytime.
You know what's stupid about this is that this video as well is 3 years old, just like the Berserk one. But if you go to the Berserk video, which has 4,000 dislikes, he made a comment not even a year ago that hey, look at this response video that I did. So he still has this opinion after 2 years after he published this stupid ass video. He doesn't understand. It's not about the action that we like about Berserk. It's about overall story that's going in the background. It's not just. It's just a waste of breath, pretty much.
All right. Well, we're almost done, so hopefully we'll just talk about his cat or whatever.
Character that maybe love the Golden Age arc, and because of that, its engagements are balanced badly, so whether you start on episode 1 or 2 is really up to whether you prefer spectacle or character depth. Again, Black Swordsman arc in the manga carries both of these.
Who the hell watches Berserk for the spectacle?
Him.
I don't go, wow, I can't wait to watch some demon decapitations, or what the hell? It doesn't ever cross my mind. I want to see what Guts is going to do next. I want to see what challenges he comes across. What's going to happen to Seska? What's Griffith going to do? Why?
Yeah, it's always the bigger picture, just like it was said before. And Berserk is pretty much that. It's not about just the action between two cats.
My favorite scene of all the anime is the blacksmith. And he's talking about why is he a blacksmith. And he has this whole... They make this whole speech, 2 minutes long, but I'm talking about why. It's beautiful. It's so... for me, it's memorable. I'm sure you guys have other memories of other anime you like, but... like it comes out of nowhere. Like, what? This guy is just a side character. No. He's a real character. He's got a lot of depth to him. So there's these wonderful moments in there. I don't know where the writer got that because it's kind of I don't know anything about blacksmithing, but for him to start talking about the fire and sparks, and it's like, whoa, holy shit, this guy's serious. It's amazing stuff. Like, it's good writing. It's not, blowing my mind away, but it's so entertaining. And
like the blacksmith character is one of the best ones in the entire comic book.
Yeah. Guys, check it out. I don't know the exact title for the YouTube video, but check out Blacksmith Berserk, and I'm sure you'll find his speech about why he's a blacksmith.
I think it happens just before the end of the Golden Age arc, before like Guts goes back to the punch. That's when there's a moment with him, and then like the one moment that was like Punished Bearserker was talking about when Guts returns after being the Black Swordsman and terrorizing the Epistles for 2 years.
Yeah.
Like, that's another great moment when the blacksmith puts it into perspective that Guts has been going on this rampage, this vengeance against the demons, but while he was doing that, he was forgetting about the people that are still irreplaceable for him, but he ignored them while he was going on this mission of his. Really good scenes.
Yeah, no, there's lots of memorable scenes, and if he thinks it's all spectacle or that's why people watch it or read it, I don't know. Okay.
These things, and I had no problem with it. I wouldn't have made a complaint about a character or arc if I hadn't read it completely. I just have a problem with just a single episode and its ability to hook compared to the next episode. That's it. Everything else was dumbass emotive writing that muddied the argument. Returning to episode 1, if they had added what they removed from manga, it would have fixed the problem, but it's not terrible. That was definitely going too far, and it still has merits that the Golden Age arc doesn't, save for 1 or 2 episodes. Alright, I think we're done. So long. Hopefully this goes well. Bye.
All right.
What a worthless video.
Yeah, let's not. I don't think we need to cover this guy anymore. He's pretty worthless.
Yeah, moving on.
It was mostly boring with him.
He's apologizing.
He tried to be so non-offensive that he's boring.
He's apologizing for no reason. Who cares what other people think about your crap?
It's his messages. Please love me.
Yeah. I made a mistake, but I'm not going to say it's wrong, but I'll say it's wrong, but I'll also say I don't like. It's like, what the?
Guys, I watched Lord of the Rings now, so I understand action movies. Is this the so-called spectacle?
Oh boy, here we go. Punished Bearserker, thanks. 9! Smud, you're taking this too negatively. Yeah. Wisp mentioned Eva. I now have an excuse to post this. Oh, please don't.
Oh man, no.
Why? What is? Oh, this is a reversal. What's going on here? All right.
Well,
Jesus. Western Twitter artists be like, fixed it. That's, oh God. Throw in some Fat Albert. You'll fix lots of things.
Maybe this is the version this guy saw.
Really.
Maybe he'll like the political angle that he needed to understand it because there was so much of a spectacle. All right, that's it. We're done. All right, that's fantastic.
Wasn't as loud this time. This guy was pretty uninspiring.
That was pretty good. Anyway, guys, if you like something or dislike something, just admit you like. Don't lie about it. Don't be shy. Don't matter if someone disagrees with you. That's part of having an argument. You have to learn from their perspective why you think they're right or wrong. It takes time. It takes proper assessment. You have to see where they're coming from. You say, I see where you're coming from, but I disagree because of X, Y, Z, and you didn't think of this, and you're coming from this perspective, yada, yada, yada. Don't backtrack. Don't backpedal. This guy was trying to not apologize and then turn it into some weird defense of his detractors or offense from his detractors. It's like, dude, no.
Yeah. Just express your opinion.
He did not have to make this video. And people in the comments are like, "Oh, I respect you so much for making it." It's like, no, he didn't. He didn't apologize. He just says, "Oh, it's a good episode, except for these things, but then it's still good because you guys liked it."
He reiterated all of those points that he made in the first video, and in fact, like he called out like some people that like, oh, they just like the spectacle.
Yeah, that's probably the worst take I've heard of an argument. You like Marvel films just because of the spectacle. It's like that's part of why you watch a superhero movie. Appeal. It's a small part, but it's a fun part. I won't give that up. But it's like the Spider-Man. It's like the 1/5 of the whole experience. Spider-Man is
still an important part of the experience.
Oh yeah, it's not the be all though. It's not everything. It's one element.
I know.
Of the scene. You want to know why Spider-Man is swinging from skyscraper to skyscraper, who he's trying to save, what's going on in his head, what problems he have to deal with when he gets off and puts back his normal clothes on and rejoins society. Same with Superman, same with Batman, all those characters, they have to have those two identities. What do they have to deal with? That's normal stuff. This is what you do in superhero stories. And he doesn't get Marvel films. It's like, all right, fine. It's not your bag. We get it. But to blame other people for a bias that strongly is not the argument, guys. You do not paint people with a broad brush like that to account for all their arguments. That's not right. Anyway. Whew, that was Anime Day, a day late, but I've been busy and everyone else has been kind of dreading the previous option, so we didn't do it. Yeah, not too many people are big into Sword Art Online, so it's kind of had its time.
It was just basically him trying to say how the main character wasn't completely bland and boring.
Yeah.
You mean how he was bland and boring the entire time?
Figures.
Yeah. Mary Sue's aren't that fun to talk about. They're just kind of like, ugh. Anyway. Thank you guys for tuning in. It was only an hour and a half, but we learned a lot. We learned how not to argue, how not to defend yourself.
It wasn't any less stupid.
Yeah, it was still pretty bad. But anyway, thanks for the suggestion. Hopefully no more talk about this fellow and his opinions. They're somewhat...
So are you going to blacklist him?
If he has an interesting, like, he's not horrific, like he's not like a Maggie May, he's just not very smart.
Yeah,
just oof.
I saw his Invincible video, and in that one he's like talks about like how much the adaptation is like better than the comic book, which was like strange to me by itself. But what was incredible for me is that like he starts comparing it to his own webcomic. That like, oh well, I really liked how they killed these characters, but like there wasn't meaning behind it, so I'm gonna rework this webcomic that I'm making. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, are you comparing a webcomic to like a professional's work?
Self-promotion.
Well, that sounds like
as if professional comic books are doing any better.
Yeah, but
yeah, but like Invincible was like way ahead of those.
All right. Anyway, guys, thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Good night.
Keep the suggestions coming. Not sure what we're going to cast next, but hopefully soon. It's been busy. It's just been really busy this month. It's probably going to keep getting busier for me next month, but that's just my life, so I do apologize. I'm trying to do a Bebop video for the sake of it. I woke up this morning really early, started writing stuff down, and I have a script going, but it's not finished yet.
Oh, you watched Netflix?
No, I didn't. I from what I've seen so far, you showed me, that was more than enough for inspiration.
You did want against it.
Sorry?
Lit want against watching it to the end.
I might eventually watch it. just for the sake of curiosity. But
yeah, LitDev had like great regrets over that.
Oh, he watched it already?
Said if you watch it to the end, it might even ruin your enjoyment of the original anime.
No. It'll only make it better.
Why would that happen?
No, yeah, it would only make it better. If you have an ersatz Cowboy Bebop thing lying around and it's like, what is this?
Because once you have seen the horrible ending of that series, you may always remember it when you watch the anime.
I doubt it.
That is why.
It's
some
not
people
the
have
end,
that.
though, Wisp. There's gotta be a second season.
Oh, fuck off.
They're making a second season, really?
Oh.
Yes, like, because the end is Ed is being revealed, and then Spike has a reason to go back.
Okay, I didn't know they got renewed. Holy crap. Well, good luck.
This was only season 1, yeah.
Oh my god.
It's money laundering.
Okay.
Telling you.
Thanks for ruining my evening. Jeez. I was going to get a drink anyway. I guess I'll have two. Anyway, thanks, everyone. Have yourself a great evening. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.
All right, have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.